sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. So this kid goes to work at a hardware store. He's there his first day. The boss says, "Hey, look, kid, I'm busy. I don't have time to teach you anything right now. Just sit over in that chair by the front door. If somebody calls and somebody asks you for help, just do your best to help them. Just don't screw it up." This kid's like, okay. So he's sitting in the chair, kind of itching, waiting for something to happen. And this little old lady comes up to him and she says, "Hey, son, can you help me?" He says, yes, ma'am, I can. He says, can you help me find a heater for my house? He's like, "Sure. Yeah. And he gets up and he's walking here. Know where the heaters are. He's got no idea. Doesn't know anything. So all he knows to do, just to buy the time, is just to ask her questions. So, when you say you want a heater, what are you trying to do? And she says, "Well, the back room of my house is really cold, back where I watch TV. So I just need something. It's not a big room. I just need kind of a small heater that I can plug in that'll keep me warm back there when I'm watching television." So he says, okay. So he goes back and he finds the heater aisle and he's wandering up and down. He looks and he sees the smaller heaters and he says, all of a sudden he notices there are different varieties of them, everything from $100 down to $25. And he's like, "Holy cow, I don't know what to do." And he asked her, he said, "Look, we've got different heaters from $100 to $25. Can you give me an idea of kind of how much money you want to spend?" And she says, "Well, yeah. I don't want to get the cheapest one. I don't want to burn my house down, but I don't want to spend $100. That sounds stupid. So probably in the $50 range." So he says, okay. So he goes to the $50 products and he looks and he goes, "Okay, there are a number of different colors here. We got red and blue and white. What color do you want?" She said, "Well, my rug is blue, so I probably ought to get a white one so that it stands out so that I don't trip over it or anybody visiting me doesn't trip over it." He says, okay. And so he hands her the white one. They go to the front and she gets checked out and she goes on. And before she leaves, she stops by the manager's office and said, "Hey, I just want you to know, I just worked with your new guy over here. He's great. You should hire more like him." Right. And so the manager, like excited about that. And the boy's excited about that. And, a couple weeks go by and the boy continues to do things like this. He doesn't know shit, but he's just working with people, trying to help them as he can. And both he and the manager are getting kind of excited because they're sending the boy to product school. They're teaching him, they're going to go teach him all about stuff in the store. And boy, he'll be able to kick ass things. If he can do this, he doesn't know anything. Imagine how good it'll be when he knows everything. So he goes off to school, off to product school. And he's there for 2 weeks and he is like a sponge. He is soaking everything up. He just can't wait. And he finally gets back to the hardware store and he sits in his lucky chair. And the boss is like, "Son, I got big hopes for you. Now that you know what the hell you're talking about, you're going to be a freaking killer." He's like, "Yes, sir. I know I am. I can't wait." So customer walks in the hardware store. Kid says, "Hey, can I help you?" Guy says, "Yeah, I'm looking for a cooler. Can you help me find a cooler?" Kid's like, "Hell yes, I can help you find a cooler. Have I got a cooler for you?" And he takes his arm and it takes him right over to aisle 2 where the coolers are. And he said, "Sir, we are having a deal on the greatest cooler in the world. It's this Yeti cooler. It's the 60-quart model, the big one that's usually like $400. We've got it on sale today for $225. This is a deal you won't get anywhere else. This will keep your ice cold for 5, maybe 6 days if you don't open it. It's bear proof. This sucker will last the rest of your life. It'll be the greatest cooler you've ever owned. Let me help you take it up to the front." And the guy says, "Well, thank you. I appreciate that." And the salesman goes, the boy goes, "You'd be a fool not to take this deal. It won't last very long. We're going to end this thing on Friday. Last chance you can get it. I think you should really do it." The guy says, "Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'll be back. I need to check with my wife about that." And so he goes away. And this too happens over and over and over again as people come into the store and they say they want something, and the boy goes and shows them with all of his excitement and knowing all about the stuff, and he pushes them to the best products. And yet less than half of them are buying. Actually, it's about a third. He can't figure out what was wrong. Well, we went back and we interviewed the guy who was looking for the cooler and half a dozen other people who came in and left. And the guy was looking for the cooler. He was looking for a little styrofoam cooler, something that he could take. He obviously wasn't very environmentally conscious. Something that he could take. He wanted to take his grandson fishing. And he wanted something to put a sandwich and a drink in. He already had a big cooler. He wanted something small, portable, lightweight, maybe that they could keep crickets in later on, right? Nothing too fancy. So what happened? All right. When somebody doesn't know anything, right, all they know to do is ask questions. And what they realize when they don't know anything, their job is to understand the customer and let the customer lead them to what they want because they don't have a damn clue. But then you'll ruin a salesperson who's good at asking questions when you send them off to product school, because then your salesperson thinks it's all about the product. They think that it's all the features and benefits of the product that's going to make the sale and that more product knowledge is better. And your job is to educate the prospect. This is when people are at their least effective, when they want to tell everything about the product or service. They want to educate and teach and show. And honestly, oftentimes you just run people off. And it's not until somebody becomes a professional that they realize it's not about the product. It's about understanding people and where they come from, understanding what's their perspective. Why are they here? What are they hoping will happen? What's the problem they're trying to solve? Are they willing to do something different to solve it than they always have in the past? How much money would they be willing to spend? How are they going to make a decision? Does it make sense? Do they think it makes sense for them to do anything? All this you need to learn before you present the product you think they're going to want to buy, that you think might be the best fit for them. Because best fit is absolutely in the eyes of the beholder. It has nothing to do with you. Stop selling. Start listening. Start asking questions, not just about data, but what it is that motivates them. What are their opinions about why they're in the situation they are and how it should be fixed? I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. You want help with sales? You want to be much better than you are? You want to stop wasting time with people that aren't going to buy from you in the first place and do better about closing the ones that you are in front of, closing for the right money, for the right reasons? Give me a call, 803-917-2817, or email me at walker@walkermckay.com. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to No BS Sales School podcast. If you haven't already, please take 1 minute to write a quick review for the show. It really does make a huge difference. Also, subscribe to the show and please forward this episode to somebody else who needs to hear it. As a bonus for listening, I'm going to give you access to a free mini course, 7 expensive sales mistakes you're making and what you can do about it. Go to www.7salesmistakes.com and get access to the free mini course. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.